Chloe and Ethan finalized their divorce 3 days ago. They stood on the courthouse steps at 10 in the morning. She breathed in the crisp air. Chloe told him they should never meet again. Her ex-husband did not look at her. He just opened and closed the divorce decree. Then he put it in his pocket. Ethan simply agreed with her statement. But 3 nights later, they were at her parents' house. They sat side by side at the dinner table. They even shared a serving bowl. Her parents didn't know about the divorce. They had invited Ethan over for a special occasion. A friend had given them some prime beef, so they called their son-in-law to share. Her mother lovingly served him a bowl of hot beef stew. Ethan accepted it with polite reverence. Her mother watched him, waiting for his verdict on the stew. He was always good at pleasing elders. Ethan took another large spoonful. He smiled warmly at his mother-in-law. He assured her it was seasoned perfectly. He praised her excellent cooking skills. Chloe's mother beamed with pleasure. Chloe tasted her own portion. She found it incredibly salty. She wondered aloud if there was any salt left in the house. Her mother shot her a cold look. She snatched Chloe's bowl away. Her mom told her to eat it or not at all. Chloe was used to this treatment. Ethan's place in the family was much higher than hers. Her mother was first. Her father was second. Ethan was a close third. Their golden retriever, Goldie, was fourth. Chloe always came in last. She never understood it. Her mother could spot a bad potato from a mile away, but she could not see Ethan's duplicitous nature. Ethan and Chloe had known each other forever. They were childhood friends since they were toddlers. Ethan had always been insufferably arrogant. He was in first grade when she was in preschool. He told her that only idiots confused rectangles and squares. This terrified her into begging for his help. He refused to teach her. He claimed she would remain an idiot regardless. She cried for days, unable to eat. Their later years were much the same. It was a classic tale of the top student and the slacker. It was the sad story of the perfect neighbor's kid. He always outshone the family's own child. Ethan's grades, looks, and family were unattainable for her, so she was shocked when he proposed to her. She thought he must have lost his mind. He never gave a real reason. He just said she was the best option in his available range. His narcissism was infuriating. It was disgusting. But she married him anyway. Her mother's relentless pressure had worn her down. Today was supposed to be her celebration. She had spent a full day recovering from the divorce. Yesterday, she had finished a mountain of delayed work. She was ready to embrace her new single life. Then he appeared again. She could not really blame him. She was the one afraid to tell her parents. Her mother would surely chase her with a broom. Her mom would call her a good-for-nothing. She would ask if Chloe could find anyone better than Ethan. Her mom had a bad temper and a weak heart. Chloe did not dare to frighten her. Her soft-heartedness had consequences. Ethan carried a freshly aired duvet into her old room. Chloe could not even manage a single word of refusal. She pleaded with her mom about Ethan's work schedule. She suggested that he should go home to sleep. Her mom replied, "Then why don't you go with him?" Ethan walked to the bed without looking at her. He placed the duvet down. As he prepared to get into bed, she glared at him. She insisted that he sleep on the floor. Ethan, dressed in his expensive silk pajamas, refused. His expression made it clear he would never do such a thing. He climbed into the bed, keeping a distance from her. She promised to tell her mother about the divorce soon. She told him to make excuses if her mom called again. He just grunted in acknowledgement. He took off his glasses. Then he placed his phone on the nightstand to charge. The awkward atmosphere felt suffocating. She had been the one to ask for the divorce. But Ethan's calm demeanor made her feel like a fool. It was so infuriating. As she fumed silently, a hand reached under her waist. She yelped and slapped his chest. She demanded to know what he was doing. She reminded him that they were divorced. She warned that his actions constituted harassment. Ethan seemed stunned by her reaction. He coolly explained that she was lying on the AC remote. She found the remote between the pillow and her back. She tossed it at him. Then she pulled the covers over her head. She hated Ethan so much. But the next morning, his alarm woke her up. She opened her eyes. She found herself wrapped in his duvet. Her arms and legs were tangled around his body. She was attached to him like an octopus. To make matters worse, his hand was inside her shirt. His fingers rested gently against her back. Goosebumps erupted all over her skin. How could they be so intimate? They were divorced. She shot up in bed, waking him instantly. It was a funny thing about Ethan. His own alarm could never wake him. But the slightest movement from her always did. She had once suggested separate beds. He had sternly rejected the idea. She tried to inch away slowly. She hoped to create the illusion she had stayed on her side. But Ethan grabbed her arm before she could move far. He sleepily told her that her comforter was on the floor. She looked to her side of the bed. It was completely bare. Her lumpy, wrinkled comforter was on the floor. She fished it back up, feeling deeply wronged. She compared Ethan's light, soft, clean duvet to her own. The difference between a son and a son-in-law was huge. Of course, she wanted the warm duvet. Her body must have subconsciously made a choice. It had sought comfort and warmth. That explained why she ended up in his bed. She conveniently ignored the part about clinging to him. While she was lost in thought, Ethan was fully awake. He sat up and reached for his clothes. He began to unbutton his pajama top. She stole a few glances. Ethan was in excellent shape. He looked slim in clothes but was muscular underneath. She, on the other hand, was skinny like a little chick. She corrected her self-deprecating thought immediately. Ethan was a man of high standards. He noticed a sharp crease on his dress shirt. He refused to wear it. He turned and asked if she had another one of his shirts there. Her parents adored Ethan. They often had him stay over, so her closet held several of his outfits. She instinctively got out of bed. She checked the color of his suit pants. She went to find a matching shirt for him. The moment she handed it to him, she realized they were divorced. She had no obligation to manage his wardrobe. He could leave the house shirtless for all she cared. She pulled all of his clothes from her closet. She threw the entire pile onto the bed. She yelled at him to take his things and leave. She told him never to come back. Ethan looked up at her. His eyes held an unspoken message. He was always like this, never saying what he meant. It was as if speaking would kill him. If he had offered one explanation before, things would be different. She would not have been so desperate to leave. She was used to his silence and reserved nature. She was used to talking to herself in an empty room. She had a temper but was generally easygoing. Most of the time, she did not mind. She usually understood his unspoken cues. They had known each other for years. But with this particular issue, she needed words. She needed him to be clear. If he loved someone else, he owed her a real explanation. He could not just let their marriage end so vaguely. Thinking about it brought a fresh wave of hurt. She flung open her bedroom door. Her mother immediately started scolding her. She demanded to know why Chloe was shouting so early. She complained that Ethan needed his rest on the weekend. She criticized Chloe for walking around in her pajamas. She warned her not to expect any care if she caught a cold. Chloe slammed the door shut. She jumped back into bed and wrapped herself in her old comforter. A moment later, she felt Ethan's duvet being placed over her. Then she heard him get dressed. The truth was, she had always loved Ethan. She was terrible at keeping secrets. She was a chatterbox who couldn't stop talking. But she had hidden this one secret for over a decade. No one knew but her. Now the secret would die with her, unspoken. Countless people had crushes on Ethan over the years. She had personally relayed at least 20 love letters to him. They went through her because she was his only friend. Ethan seemed like a character from a teen drama. He was intelligent but had low emotional intelligence. He was cold, aloof, and looked down on everyone. He had followers but no real friends. Perhaps that was a slight exaggeration. He was polite to elders and strangers. But she was definitely his follower. That part was not an exaggeration. When they were young, she carried his backpack. She did it just to get a ride in his family's luxury car. She felt quite proud at the time. She imagined she was a rich kid, too. Later, she learned a painful truth. Her classmates all thought she was his family's servant. When she was in 4th grade, Ethan was in middle school. He no longer needed her to carry his bag. But sometimes he would call her over after school. He would make her eat the chocolates girls had given him. She would stuff her mouth full of cookies. She would ask him if this would hurt the girls' feelings. He would continue his homework without looking up. He said he feared they would see it in the trash. At the time, she thought he was brilliant. It was a clever solution. No hurt feelings and no wasted food. She now felt deep pity for her past self's intelligence. She realized she loved Ethan in middle school. It was not surprising. He was handsome and a top student. His bad temper did not detract from his charm. Sometimes she felt happy. So many people liked him, but she was the closest. Other times she felt sad. So many people could confess their love to him. Only she could not. She feared he would call her an idiot again. She knew what his ideal type was. She was the complete opposite in every way. She had seen Ethan's ideal type once. It was a new transfer student in his class. She went to find Ethan after school. She saw the boy immediately. He was radiant in a different way than Ethan. He had a beautiful smile that made his eyes curve. Then she saw Ethan staring at the boy. His gaze was just as intense as her own. Jealousy instantly consumed her. She was not ready to give up. She started going to the high school building every day. She wanted to monitor Ethan and the new boy. She would casually mention the boy to Ethan. She was trying to gauge his feelings. Ethan finally snapped from her constant pestering. He coldly forbade her from ever saying the boy's name again. He also banned her from visiting him at the high school. His protectiveness was so obvious. She knew then that Ethan was truly in love with someone else. Her first love was crushed before it could even bloom. She swore she would never like Ethan again. She avoided him until his high school graduation. She stopped taking rides in his family's car. She stopped visiting his house. She stopped bringing him her mom's homemade cakes. Life without Ethan's domineering presence was easier. She could be a slacker without fear of his ridicule. His graduation party was a family affair. She saw Ethan in a tailored suit. He looked so mature giving his speech on stage. She felt a vast distance between them. His parents brought him to her table for a toast. She thought she felt his eyes on her, but she kept her head down. Ethan's mother patted her head. She joked to the table about their childhood betrothal. She said Chloe was destined to join their family. Everyone at the table laughed loudly. No one took the comment seriously. Her belongings were still at their marital home. She had not found a suitable new apartment yet. She had saved a good amount of money over the years. Her daily expenses had been minimal. Ethan had covered everything. When they divorced, he asked about dividing assets. She thought about it. An equal split would make her rich overnight. But she refused. She did not want to seem like a gold digger. She had wanted him, not his money. But in the end, she only got his body, not his heart. Ethan had bought the house. He had managed the renovations. He had paid for everything inside it. In 2 years of marriage, she bought only 2 things: a toaster and a new suit for him one Christmas. He seemed to like wearing that suit often. He even took it on business trips. But when she asked, he was dismissive. He called it the ugliest suit bought with the most money. He said her taste was terrible. If it was so bad, why did he wear it? Ethan was definitely a strange man. The real estate agent messaged her. She had found a suitable apartment. Chloe immediately got up. She changed her clothes and went to see the place. She was quite satisfied with it. It was only a quarter of the size of Ethan's house. But she was still happy. She called Ethan to ask if he was home. She needed to go pack her things. He said he was busy. She told him to continue his work. She would pack by herself. There was a brief silence on his end. Then he said, "Okay." The passcode to the house was their wedding date, 0509. Ethan's mother had hired a master to choose the date. He had promised a lifetime of happiness. So much for that master's expertise. The house looked exactly as it had 4 days ago. The TV remote was still on the tissue box. She had left it there while watching a show. She entered the bedroom. 2 pillows lay side by side on the neatly made bed. She lifted her pillow. A pile of small items was hidden underneath. Her eye drops, earphones, and a small massager. She always stuffed things under her pillow. Ethan couldn't stand the mess. He would gather them all up and toss them in a drawer. He should have been able to enjoy a clean bed now. But her little things were still there. They had not been discarded. 2 boxes of condoms were in the nightstand. She stared at them blankly. She wondered who Ethan would use them with now. She looked around the room. Removing herself completely from this house would be difficult. She rolled up her sleeves. She started packing everything, from clothes to toiletries. By the time she finished, it was almost 6 o'clock. She worried Ethan would return from work soon. She quickly sealed the last box. She called a moving company to come get her things. She did one final check of the house. She wanted to ensure nothing was left behind. A tightness grew in her chest. It was an uncomfortable feeling. When she married him, she truly intended to spend her life with him. She went into the study. She took a notebook from a high shelf. Inside the notebook was a letter. The envelope was old and yellowed. 3 words were written on it. To Leo. It was then she learned the truth. The high school-aged Ethan had been like any other boy. He had written a letter to the person he liked. There were many things she did not know. For example, Ethan had not dated in college. He was waiting for Leo to return from abroad. Leo had returned last month. He was now the vice president of Ethan's company. Their marriage had been a facade for a long time. She had foolishly been dreaming of forever. Her happy single life had not yet begun. Her mother had sensed that something was wrong. She kept asking Chloe what was happening. Chloe fled to her new apartment to hide. But she had not paid the electricity bill yet. The apartment was freezing at night. She had to check into a nearby hotel. She could not sleep. She went to the hotel bar for a drink. A man tried to get unpleasantly close to her. She got angry and broke a glass. She ended up paying the bar for the damage. Then she scurried back upstairs in disgrace. Why was single life so joyless? What was Ethan doing now? Had he already rekindled things with Leo? Surely he would not move on that fast. Her mind wandered endlessly. She eventually thought back to her childhood. She had a terrible sense of direction. She got lost easily, but Ethan could always find her. He would call her an idiot. Then he would drag her back home. The setting sun would silhouette his tall figure. She had thought he was so heroic. She fell asleep lost in these thoughts. The next day, she organized her new home. She paid her utility bills. She bought groceries and household supplies. It was another busy day. She had not even slept in her new bed yet. Then Ethan called her again. His voice was weak. He said he had acute appendicitis and was in the hospital. He was alone. He asked if she could bring him his laptop and a file. Her heart dropped. Her mind went blank. She immediately hailed a taxi to the hospital. Downstairs, she remembered something. He had asked her to bring things, not to visit him. She took another taxi back to their old house. She got his laptop and the folder he needed. She also packed a change of clothes and toiletries. She did not know if he would need them. She got his room number. It was a private room. When she arrived, Ethan seemed to be sleeping, but his eyes opened as soon as she approached. She asked where she should put his things. Ethan looked at her. He pointed to the small table beside his bed. She placed them down. She stood awkwardly by his bed. She asked him how he was feeling. He said he was fine. He was obviously just putting on a brave face. His face was pale. She then asked when his surgery was. He said it was in 2 hours. It was a minimally invasive procedure. He assured her it would be quick. She nodded. Ethan was the type to have everything arranged. He did not need her to worry. So, why wasn't Leo here to see you? Ethan's expression darkened. He asked why Leo would come. She muttered that there was no point in saying that. Ethan got angry for some reason. He tried to sit up to argue with her. The movement caused him immense pain. Cold sweat beaded on his forehead. She was startled. She quickly pushed him back down onto the bed. She told him not to move. Then she felt his skin. She asked why he felt so hot. She touched his neck and hand. Both were burning up. She tried to check his forehead. The back of her hand was not accurate. In her panic, she leaned down. She pressed her forehead against his to check his temperature. He was definitely running a fever. She started to pull away to call a doctor. But Ethan suddenly reached up. He pressed the back of her neck, pulling her down. His lips met hers. He bit her lower lip, as if in frustration. She pushed him away angrily. She demanded to know what his problem was. She accused him of trying to make her sick. Ethan closed his eyes. He covered his face with his arm and stopped talking. She ran out of the room. She wanted to just leave him there, but she could not bring herself to do it. She found a nurse at the station. She asked about the patient in room 156. She explained that he had a fever. The nurse calmly reassured her. A low-grade fever was a normal symptom. Chloe finally felt relieved. After Ethan went into surgery, she returned to his room. His personal belongings were in the closet. She hung up his clothes neatly. She put his phone in the nightstand drawer. A text message notification popped up. She glanced at it curiously. It was just a promotional message from his mobile carrier. What a waste of her emotional energy. But then she noticed his phone's lock screen. It was a picture of her. It was taken on her high school graduation day. She was still in her school uniform. She had a goofy, happy smile on her face. Her own face flushed. She felt a strange sense of embarrassment. Her own phone's wallpaper was a picture of a handsome actor. It was not a picture of Ethan. She would never have believed it if she hadn't seen it. She never pried into Ethan's private life. His phone, his work, his social events were his own. She had never even opened the letter addressed to Leo. She just assumed Ethan would not want her to. The surgery was minor and did not take long. He was out in less than half an hour. Ethan lay on the bed, his face as white as paper. She watched him, her mind a complete blank. She did not know how things had gotten to this point. Their 2-year marriage was over, but it felt like so many things were left unresolved. The stinging pain on her lip from his bite had faded. She felt a strange sense of disappointment about it. She wished the feeling had lasted longer. An hour passed. She could not sit still. She had a sudden idea. She wanted to test if he really woke up at her touch. She had always wondered about it. Why was Ethan immune to alarms but not to her? She was such a restless sleeper. She must have woken him up multiple times a night. She sat on the edge of the bed. She gently poked the palm of his hand. He grabbed her hand in the next second. He held it tightly. His voice was hoarse as he told her to stop fooling around. She asked if he was really awake. He replied that she was rustling around like a mouse. How could he not wake up? She felt a little embarrassed. She said she would leave so he could sleep. He held her hand tighter. He told her it was not necessary. He said he could not fall back asleep anyway. She tried to pull her hand away but failed. She did not want to upset a post-surgery patient, so she let him hold her hand. She swung their joined hands slightly. She told him she had discovered a secret. Ethan did not respond. This was his way of telling her to continue. She said she saw that his phone wallpaper was her picture. She asked him why he used her photo. She jokingly warned him not to say it was to ward off evil. She had caught him. He must be panicking internally. As she was about to gloat, he spoke coldly. He asked her what business it was of hers. She huffed, annoyed by his domineering tone. She pointed out that she changed her wallpaper 3 times last month. She reminded him that he never cared. She paused. How did he know she had changed her wallpaper? She accused him of spying on her phone. Ethan closed his eyes and fiercely denied it. She pressed him on how he knew. Ethan went silent. She was about to question him further but stopped. She realized she had no right to ask. They were already divorced. An awkward silence filled the room. Ethan's grip on her hand loosened slightly. She immediately pulled her hand back. She looked down, avoiding his gaze. As she prepared to leave, there was a knock on the door. Before she could open it, their mothers burst in. They were both talking at once. They exclaimed about the children not telling them about the surgery. The quiet room suddenly felt like a crowded market. Ethan squeezed her waist. She instantly understood his signal. She stepped forward to intercept the 2 mothers. She told them that Ethan was resting after his surgery. She asked them to wait in the small sitting area. They immediately quieted down. They peeked at Ethan, then silently agreed. Her mother and his mother had worked at the same factory. Ethan's mom later married into wealth. Her own mother remained a factory worker, but their deep friendship had never changed. She settled them in the sitting area. She explained Ethan's condition to them. She assured them everything was fine. Then she went back to the main room to make them tea. She waited for the electric kettle to boil. She poured 2 cups of hot water. She was about to bring the tea to them, but she overheard her mother's voice at the doorway. She stopped and decided to listen. Her mother asked if Ethan's mom knew the kids were fighting. Ethan's mother said she suspected something. She noted that Chloe had not visited in 2 weeks. Chloe's mom confirmed it. She had finally managed to get Ethan over for dinner. She had sensed the tension between them. She was sure Ethan had done something to upset Chloe. Chloe's mother surprisingly defended him. She insisted it must be Chloe's fault. She said Ethan was already very patient with her. Then her mother's voice dropped to a whisper. She asked if the children might do something foolish. Ethan's mom was firm. She said it was impossible. She explained that Ethan was crazy about Chloe. Nothing was more important to him than her. He would never leave unless Chloe initiated it. Chloe was stunned. The hot water in the cup almost spilled. Ethan loved her? How was that possible? He was not blind or foolish. His admirers were all far superior to her. She had no looks, no impressive degree. Standing next to him, she was like a dwarf next to a prince. This was not self-pity. It was a direct quote from her own mother. She admitted she lacked confidence. She grew up under her mother's criticism and Ethan's shadow. But even a dose of confidence could not make her believe this. The idea that Ethan was madly in love with her was absurd. But then why had he married her? She still did not understand that part. If he was in love with Leo, he could have waited. He did not have to marry her. Getting a divorce later would tarnish his reputation. Her mind was in chaos. She was torn between her mother-in-law's words and the divorce papers. She did not know what to do. Her mother noticed her standing there. She asked why she was just standing there like a statue. Chloe regained her composure and handed them the tea. She asked her former mother-in-law a direct question. She wanted to know how she knew Ethan loved her. Her mother-in-law was taken aback, then smiled. She asked Chloe what was wrong. She said they had been married for so long. How could Chloe not know about his love for her? Before she could answer, her own mother sensed trouble. She demanded to know what was really going on. Chloe denied that anything was wrong. Her mother did not believe her. How could she confess the truth now? Just 7 days ago, she had dragged Ethan to the courthouse. She had traded their marriage certificate for divorce papers. She felt trapped under her mother's intense gaze. She backed away into the main room. She retreated until she was beside Ethan's bed. She squeezed his hand. She whispered his name. Ethan woke up instantly. He opened his eyes and looked at her. Then he saw the two mothers standing there with strange expressions. Her mother spoke with authority. She said they would not interfere in a small quarrel. But if there was a serious issue, they needed to talk. Leave it to her mother to see the problem. She assumed Ethan had made a terrible mistake. Chloe silently praised her mother's insight. Then her mother turned to her. She asked if Chloe had done something to wrong Ethan. Chloe was furious. Why did no one ever take her side? She indignantly denied it. She insisted that everything was fine. She told them to stop worrying. Her mother challenged her to prove it. How was she supposed to prove that? In her panic, she glanced at Ethan on the bed. She turned towards him. She cupped his face and gave him a quick, loud kiss. She asked if that was enough proof. Her mother looked at her with disappointment. She scolded her for being so shameless. Ethan finally came to her rescue. He put his arm around her waist. He earnestly told their mothers that everything was fine. He admitted to a small disagreement that was now resolved. His mother patted Chloe's head. She warned Ethan not to bully Chloe. For a moment, she wanted to blurt out the truth. She feared that one lie would lead to many more. Then a random thought occurred to her. She was glad Ethan's company was not publicly traded. Otherwise, the news of the boss's divorce would be everywhere. There would be no way to hide it. After the two mothers left, they were alone again. Ethan's arm was still around her. She was very close to him. Ethan broke the silence. He noted that it was her first time initiating a kiss. She almost choked on her own saliva. She shifted uncomfortably. She explained it was just a tactic for the situation. She suggested they find a time to tell their parents. She said they could not hide it forever. Ethan suddenly withdrew his arm. His voice became cold and familiar. He said they should keep it a secret for now. She asked if it would be a problem for his future relationships. He retorted, asking if she was afraid of her own trouble. She stated she had no trouble. She already had her own apartment. She did not want to argue with him while he was sick. She changed the subject. She commented on his excellent acting skills. She mentioned his mother's belief that he loved her. She asked what he had done to mislead them so much. Ethan fell into a long silence. She knew she had crossed a line. The question would make him uncomfortable. He finally squeezed out a few words. He said he was not acting. Her heart suddenly started beating faster. She held her breath, feeling it pound in her throat. But it could not be what she thought. She suppressed her hopeful emotions. She tried to analyze the situation calmly. She guessed he must have had a crush on her before high school. It was not impossible. She was his only friend back then. Their mothers always joked about them getting married. He might have started to believe it, and she had always been obedient to him. So it was natural for him to like her a little. But then in high school he met Leo. He met other wonderful people. And then Ethan angrily interrupted her. He demanded to know why she always brought up Leo. She was startled by his outburst. All her hurt and sadness surged to the surface. Ethan did not understand anything. He did not know how much she loved him. She finally confessed that she was jealous of Leo. The moment she said it, she wanted to run. She was afraid of his ridicule. He might call her a fool and a lunatic. She felt so ashamed. Why did she keep embarrassing herself in front of him? This made her even more resentful. She wiped a tear from the corner of her eye. She did not want him to see her cry. Ethan seemed completely stunned. He could not move his upper body. He strained his neck to look at her. He reached out to grab her but only touched her clothes. He pleaded with her to come back. He said he was weak and could not chase her. His tone sounded like a desperate plea. She froze. He asked when she had started liking him. He was actually interested in such gossip. She decided to be honest and direct. She did not want to seem petty. She sat down in the chair by his bed. She began to tell her sad story. She spoke as if it were about someone else. She told him he probably did not remember. It was during their second year of middle school. Her grandmother had been very ill. Her parents went to their hometown to care for her. They left her at his house for a few days. She saw a blank look in his eyes. She knew he did not remember. She told him not to bother trying to recall. She said he just needed to listen. She had been sleeping in the guest room. The chandelier in that room was strange. Moonlight cast a monstrous shadow on the wall. She was terrified. She could not sleep, so she went to find him. He was not angry about being woken up. He lifted his blanket and let her in. She felt safe next to him. She fell asleep immediately. The next morning, she woke up in his arms. She decided then that she wanted to wake up in his arms every day. She could not explain what love was. Perhaps it was a desire for exclusive possession. After that, seeing him with anyone else made her angry. She noticed Ethan was silent. She scratched her neck nervously. She mumbled, asking if he found her story disgusting. She reminded him that he had forced her to tell it. After a long time, Ethan finally responded. He asked why she wasn't the one who liked Leo. She pointed to herself in disbelief. She asked, "Me?" He questioned her daily trips to the high school. He mentioned her asking his classmates about Leo's preferences. He said she had tried everything that Leo liked. Ethan's words were both right and wrong. Her brain short-circuited. She had indeed inquired about Leo's tastes. She had imitated his style and behavior. She had eaten his favorite foods and watched his favorite movies. She had even gone to Ethan's company recently to see Leo. But none of it was because she liked him. It was all to get Ethan's attention. This was a huge misunderstanding. Ethan thought she liked Leo. So, did he see her as a rival? She asked why he would see her as a rival. She had barely spoken 3 sentences to Leo in her life. Ethan was about to speak, but she cut him off. She called him a manipulative person. She accused him of taking his frustration out on her because he couldn't be with Leo. She called him a heartless scoundrel. She felt so wronged. She had given all of her firsts to him. Ethan started coughing violently. She had to wipe her tears while helping him. When he finally calmed down, he glared at her. She glared back. She had nothing left to lose. She was no longer afraid of him. But what Ethan said next, she would never forget. He spoke with fierce intensity. He said from age 16 to 26. For 10 years, he made the same birthday wish. He wished for Chloe to fall in love with him and then marry him. She went back to their home to find the letter. It was her last shred of defiance. Ethan must have been lying. He had written a love letter to Leo. How dare he claim to have loved her since he was 16? He was such a shameless liar. Besides, she was undeveloped at 13 or 14. She was a skinny little thing. What was there to like? She did not understand why Ethan would say such things. They were already divorced. Did he want to get back together? She took a taxi home in a daze. The letter was still tucked away on the bookshelf. She pulled it out nervously. Then she called Ethan. She told him about the letter she found. She identified it as his love letter to Leo. She accused him of writing love letters while wishing for her. He asked what love letter she was talking about. She described where she found it. She mentioned it was addressed to Leo. Ethan's memory seemed affected by his surgery. He could not remember it. She told him not to deny it. She said she would not be fooled by his sweet words again. Was the envelope a light gray color? Ethan suddenly asked. She confirmed that it was. He asked if she had read the contents. She said no, explaining it was obviously a love letter. She insisted she was not the type to snoop. She would never read his mail without permission. Ethan fell silent again. He said she could read it, but after she saw it. She interrupted, assuming it was full of cheesy pickup lines. She promised not to laugh at him. Ethan sighed deeply. He told her to just open it. He gave her his permission. She opened the letter, feeling both nervous and jealous. She pulled out the single sheet of paper. She unfolded it and stared at the words. She was completely petrified. 2 lines were written in large characters. Please stay away from Chloe. She is going to marry me. Oh my God. Ethan had such a cringy phase. He asked if she had seen it. She asked why he never gave it to him. He explained that Leo confessed his feelings right before he could. Leo had also been asking about her. Ethan had mistakenly thought Leo liked her too. Now he knew Leo did not, so the letter was unnecessary. The information was overwhelming. She focused on one key point. But he confessed his feelings to you. Ethan replied that it did not matter. He only cared about his rivals for her affection. She scoffed, asking what rivals he was talking about. She said only someone with his questionable taste would find her attractive. Ethan stated it as a simple fact. He said she had always been beautiful. Tears welled up in her eyes. He pleaded with her to come back to the hospital. She refused. She was too shy to face him right now. But she did not reject him completely. She told him to get out of the hospital quickly. She said she would be waiting for him at home. He asked which home she meant. She mumbled softly. She said, our home, of course. Ethan was discharged from the hospital the next evening. If she had known he was so eager, she would have stayed with him. Her belongings had just been moved to her new apartment. Now they had to be moved back. Her feelings were so complicated right now. She had been so determined to get the divorce. She had not eaten or slept well for days. She had been completely distracted at work. She used to think that even if he did not love her, he was still legally hers. But then she had gone to his office. She saw Leo coming out of his office. Leo's style and confidence made her feel inadequate. He was the kind of person she could never be. Ethan deserved someone like that. Even if it was not Leo, it should not have been her. She had never publicly appeared at his company. She had never told her colleagues about her successful husband. She just felt that she was not good enough for him. But now Ethan was saying that he loved her most of all. She felt so incredibly shy. She hid in the corner of his study. A warm blush spread from her neck to her ears. This feeling of a dream come true was magical. The next evening, she was folding clothes. The sound of the electronic lock broke the silence. Ethan was back. She stood up abruptly. His driver was helping him inside. She went to them and took Ethan's briefcase. The driver said there were more things in the car. She offered to go down with him to help. As she was about to leave, Ethan grabbed her wrist. The driver was sharp. He saw the look on Ethan's face and quickly backed away. He insisted there was not much. He said he could handle it alone. Soon it was just the two of them at the door. Ethan told her not to avoid him. She denied it, trying to pull her arm away. But Ethan held on tightly. She kept her head down. She said if she really wanted to avoid him, she would not be here. He asked if she understood what he said at the hospital. She nodded, and he pulled her into a hug. He kissed her ear. He whispered that if he had known her feelings sooner. She hugged him back tightly. She insisted it was her fault too. She said she had never dared to believe it. She admitted he had been very good to her for the past 2 years. He suggested they not talk about the past anymore. She agreed. When Ethan was gentle, he was incredibly so. Felt like he was holding her in the palm of his hand. He was afraid she would break. He kissed her hair, her ear, her forehead. His lips were about to touch hers. Just then, the driver returned with his things. She quickly jumped out of Ethan's embrace. She rushed to the door to take the bags. She thanked the driver and said goodbye. The romantic atmosphere was shattered. She was unsure what to do next. But Ethan pulled her close again. He said, "Sleep with me." She half-heartedly resisted as he led her to the bedroom. She helped him get undressed. She asked if the doctor had approved his discharge. He said yes, but he needed to be careful. He had to rest and avoid infection. She helped him with his belt and his pants. He stared at her the entire time. Felt like he was trying to find a flower on her face. As she was buttoning his pajamas, she nodded. But he wanted to take a shower tomorrow. She looked up at him and asked what they should do. He leaned in close to her ear. He said she would have to help him wash. She blushed and agreed. She lay down beside him, holding his arm. She kept checking the wound on his abdomen. She asked if it hurt. Ethan shook his head, but she still felt sorry for him. She kissed his lips lightly. Then she kissed him again. As he reached for her neck, she quickly lay flat. She told him to rest and not get any ideas. She had not yet explained why they had divorced. The catalyst was Leo, but he was not the only reason. It started when she found the letter. She had always suspected Ethan liked Leo, but she never imagined he would write a love letter. Ethan was such a reserved person. A sense of panic about Leo washed over her. The security she had built in her marriage crumbled. That night, as Ethan was falling asleep, she asked him. She asked if he still remembered Leo. His expression turned cold. He curtly said he did not remember. Her disappointment in their marriage was absolute. The next day, she had nothing to do after work. She happened to be near Ethan's company. She decided to go up and see him. but she saw Leo coming out of Ethan's office. He was dressed in stylish, eye-catching clothes. As he passed, she smelled a familiar cologne. It was the one Ethan always wore. Ethan later explained the situation. Leo was going to meet someone special that night, so he had dressed up and borrowed some of Ethan's cologne. But she did not know that at the time. Her mind was filled with images of them rekindling their old flame. Later, she went to a coffee shop downstairs. She overheard two employees gossiping. One commented on how handsome their boss, Leo, looked. She glanced down at her own yellow sweater with a duck on it. The other employee said it was because he was tall and good-looking. She scoffed in disagreement. Then one of them mentioned seeing the big boss, Ethan, staring at Leo. The other agreed, saying his eyes were glued to him. She heard they were old classmates. The first one whispered they were probably old lovers. Her heart sank. It fell into a dark, empty place where Ethan was not there. She started a cold war with Ethan when she got home. He asked her what was wrong. She refused to say. He did not press her further. He just went into his study and closed the door. It seemed like he was angry with her too. How dare he be angry? The thought of divorce took root and grew quickly. She washed the tear stains from her face. She went to his study and knocked on the door. She said, "Ethan, let's get a divorce." She had not noticed the look of disbelief in his eyes. She thought it was best to end things now. They were still young. They had not become too deeply entangled in each other's lives. This way, he could pursue his own happiness. The next morning, Ethan appeared with dark circles under his eyes. He asked if she was serious about the divorce. She lay in bed with her back to him. She nodded silently. After a long pause, Ethan left the room. Later, they went to the courthouse. It all felt like a dream. She now understood the importance of communication in a marriage. They had so many opportunities to tell each other their feelings. But she never asked and he never said anything. That was how they ended up here. She hugged his arm, rubbing her face against him like a cat. Ethan chuckled and pulled her into his embrace. She asked if he was fully recovered. She was still worried. Ethan's voice rumbled in her ear. He said he was fine. Later, when she was too exhausted to speak, she knew the truth. She realized how much he had been holding back in bed before. She asked Ethan if he thought her style was too childish. Compared to Leo or even her peers, she felt immature. She had never thought it was a problem before. Ethan, who was about to take off his glasses, put them back on. He looked at her teddy bear pajamas. He shook his head and said he thought it was cute. She pouted. He asked why she needed to be mature. He said maturity was a personality trait, not a requirement. Her heart felt both sweet and sour. She climbed onto his lap and pressed against him. She declared that she would be childish forever. Ethan cupped her face and spoke seriously. He told her to promise to always be childish and never grow up. Oh no. An uninhibited Ethan was a smooth talker. She could not let him win so easily. She lay on top of him and called him darling. Ethan's body stiffened. "Ethan, my dear brother," she cooed. His breathing instantly became heavy. "Hubby." Her teddy bear pajamas were ripped off in the next second. The next day, Ethan brought the last of her things back. As they were unpacking, her mother showed up. She had heard from someone that they had divorced. She rushed over immediately. She saw the two large boxes at the door. She demanded to know what was going on. She asked why Chloe was packing her things. She accused Ethan of kicking her out. Before Chloe could explain, her mother threw her purse. It hit Ethan squarely on the shoulder. She said she knew he would not cherish her daughter. She said she knew he looked down on Chloe. She knew he thought Chloe was simple-minded and not very capable. She had only agreed to their marriage because Chloe loved him. She had treated him like her own son for 2 years. She had hoped he would be good to Chloe for her sake. She had worried about their future together. She confessed to having nightmares about Chloe being left with nothing. Chloe was stunned. How did her mother know she loved Ethan? That was her own secret. And she had been nice to Ethan for her sake? Her heart was a mix of emotions. She did not know whether to feel comforted or sad. Her mother was still talking. Chloe stopped her. She said it was not what she thought. Her mother accused her of defending him. She was about to scold Ethan again. Chloe tried to explain the whole situation. When she finally finished, the slap meant for Ethan landed on her head. She was stunned. Ethan quickly came to protect her. Her mother scolded them for treating marriage like a game. She was so angry she clutched her chest. Chloe hid behind Ethan, shaking her head. Ethan sincerely apologized to her mother. He took all the blame. He promised they would remarry the next day. She had always thought her first kiss was on their wedding night. But she later learned Ethan had stolen it in middle school. It was the night her feelings for him had blossomed. While she was dreaming of her budding romance, Ethan had kissed her. When she had recounted the story at the hospital, he had just stared at the ceiling. She had thought he was just trying to remember. Now she realized his expression was one of guilt. Ethan glanced at her calmly. He continued with his work, showing no remorse. It was her first kiss. Ethan was completely unromantic. He said it did not matter if it was sooner or later. The cold look in his eyes made her back down. She leaned over his desk playfully. She fiddled with his cufflink. She told him she loved him the most. She asked if he was nervous when he kissed her back then. What if she had woken up? He answered calmly that he was not nervous. He said she was a very deep sleeper. She would not even wake up during an earthquake. She grumbled. A deep sleeper? If she was such a deep sleeper, why did she always wake up wrapped around him? Ethan coughed twice. He pretended to be absorbed in his documents. The day they were supposed to remarry was a weekend. The city hall was closed. They were all dressed and ready to go. Only then did they remember this important detail. She complained, asking if this was his first marriage. She was so disappointed and annoyed. Ethan did not get angry at her outburst. Instead, he hugged her apologetically. He said he was sorry. She admitted she was blaming herself. She said it was her fault for not remembering. He insisted on taking the blame. He said he was just too excited to remarry her. That was why he had forgotten. Wow. Ethan was so cheesy now. She suspected he had been studying a book of love quotes. She pushed away from him. She patted his shoulder and said with mock gravity, "Cherish this day. It's the last day of your single life." Ethan ignored her and walked toward the bedroom. She followed him, still talking. She warned him to think carefully. She said this marriage would be for life. Once they got the new certificate, she would lock it in a safe. She would change the password. He would never be able to leave her. Ethan replied, "I would be delighted." She blushed. When he sat on the bed, she straddled his lap. She complained that he never played along with her. She called him an old-fashioned man. He said he would do anything else but not joke about this. She loved it when he was serious like this. She leaned in and kissed his nose. An idea popped into her head. She suggested they try some role-playing. Ethan threw his hands up in surrender. "Baby, please spare me." She wrapped her arms around his neck. She offered him a few choices: a gentle teacher and his wild student, an innocent college boy and a subway groper, a muscular cop and a silent suspect. Ethan interrupted her. "Chloe, can you read some normal books?" "Fine," she said. "The CEO and his secret mistress." She whispered in his ear, "We're having an affair right now." She pushed him onto the bed and started unbuttoning his shirt. She bit his chin lightly. Be serious. No smiling. Ethan lay there, letting her do as she pleased. I'm not smiling, he said lazily. She was already tired just from undoing his shirt and belt. She playfully slapped his abs. Why aren't you cooperating? You're the mistress I'm paying for. You're not being very professional. You sound very experienced, Ethan laughed, flipping her over. Have you done this before? He pinned her down. No, but it sounds interesting. A mistress has to do whatever I say, right? Even the most outrageous things? She hugged herself defensively. What are you planning to do? Ethan pulled her up. Nothing. It's the middle of the day. What's going on in that little head of yours? She looked at her disheveled clothes and his even more disheveled state. She asked in disbelief, You don't want to do anything to me? Ethan was speechless. I knew it. I'm not your favorite mistress anymore, she wailed. Do you have another one? I've always been so good and obedient. I do whatever you want. She covered her face and pretended to cry. Ethan seemed alarmed. He squeezed the back of her neck. You are my favorite. My only one. What about your wife? Forget about her. She burst out laughing. Ethan, don't be so serious. You're ruining the scene. I can't win with you, he said. So what do you want me to do? I want something more practical. He pushed her back onto the bed. The blush on his face had not faded, but his eyes were intense. I'll take that as an invitation to misbehave. She winked at him. You've understood correctly. Get the things, he said, patting her bottom. He sent her to the other side of the bed for the supplies. She quickly returned and presented the lubricant. I've wanted you to be rough with me for a long time. How long? Since I was 17 or 18. I used to dream about you. What did you dream about? Ethan asked. I dreamed you were doing bad things to me. It hurt, but it also felt good. But then you would just leave. You would say you didn't like me at all. She pouted, making herself feel sad. Ethan's hands stilled. He looked at her intensely. I've had dreams like that too. But you were the one who left me. She giggled. So I'm the bad guy in your dreams. Yes. A heartless little heartbreaker. His kisses were incredibly gentle. It reminded her of their second day of marriage. They had not done anything on their wedding night. She thought he was unwilling. He thought she was unwilling. But the next day, they found themselves drawn to each other. Their hands touched. He had whispered her name. He said it was okay if she did not want to. But she did want to. He had kissed the corner of her mouth gently. He waited for her reaction before deepening the kiss. They had both been so nervous then. They were too nervous to see each other's true feelings. She wrapped her arms around his neck. She whispered in his ear, I really, really love you. She had always been afraid to visit Ethan's company. She was scared of the gossip, but she knew he probably wanted her to be a part of his life. So one day she made him lunch. She decided to bring it to him during his lunch break. Ethan often worked late and skipped meals. She wanted to take better care of him now, but she got nervous as soon as she reached his office building. She knew she needed an appointment to see him. The receptionist asked for her reason for visiting. She could not bring herself to say who she was. I'm his husband sounded too strange. She called Ethan's assistant instead. She said she would leave the lunchbox at the front desk. She then told the receptionist not to worry. She explained the assistant was coming down, but the receptionist insisted on security protocols. She felt so frustrated. She decided to just take the lunch and leave. Then she saw a familiar figure in her peripheral vision. Before she could grab her lunchbox, Ethan was beside her. The receptionist stood up respectfully. She started to explain that Chloe did not have an appointment. Ethan glanced at her, then spoke calmly. He's my husband. He doesn't need an appointment. Then he pulled her into the elevator. She held his little finger, feeling nervous and guilty. She asked why he came down himself. Ethan's breathing was still a little ragged. She guessed he had heard her call with his assistant. He must have rushed down. The last time she was here, she was with the assistant. No one had paid any attention to her. But this time she was with Ethan. All eyes were on them. She kept her eyes down as he led her into his office. She heard a buzz of chatter as the door closed. Ethan turned and pressed her against the door. He answered her earlier question. "I was looking forward to it." He was angry again, because she would not acknowledge their relationship in front of his staff. She poked his cheek and called him childish. After he finished the lunch, Ethan pushed her into his private rest area. He said they needed to do some digestive exercises. He looked so funny when he said things like that with a straight face. She tilted her head up to kiss him. She could not help but laugh. Ethan pinched her bottom in annoyance. He was about to get started. But a man's voice came from outside the door. "Ethan, are you targeting me on purpose? I gave you that file at 9 this morning. It's almost dark and you still haven't signed it? Is it that hard to sign your name? I have to get this approved." "Where are you?" It was Leo. She and Ethan exchanged a look. Ethan cursed under his breath. He tucked his shirt back in and stood up. He went out. "Leo, can't you knock?" Leo probably saw Ethan's unbuttoned shirt. He looked shocked. "No way. What were you doing in there? Did I interrupt something?" Ethan gave him a death glare. "This world is crazy, Ethan. Even you're unreliable now. What about your cute little husband? I thought you were crazy about him." Chloe peeked out from behind the doorframe. She gave Leo a stiff wave and a forced smile. "Hi." Leo coughed. "Well, you two certainly have an interesting dynamic." To avoid the awkwardness, she went to make coffee. Ethan handed the signed file to Leo. Leo winked at him. "Things are sweet with your little cutie." "Huh? Get lost," Ethan said. "Whatever. I don't care about you. I'm just curious how you managed to win him back." Ethan said coldly, "Leo, stay away from him." Leo rolled his eyes and came to find her. He smiled at her warmly. He still had that same beautiful smile. "Ethan's super awkward, isn't he? He's just like that." She knew it was rude to interrupt, but she had to say it. She straightened up and looked Leo in the eye. "He's awkward, but I still love him." Leo burst out laughing. "I feel like I've heard that before many years ago." "Huh? Don't get mad. But I knew about you back then. You were just a little kid in middle school. I never understood what Ethan saw in you, so I asked your classmates about your grades." Leo looked like he was reliving a painful memory. "I told Ethan that you only got a 52 in math. I thought you were so dumb." She felt a little ashamed. But then Ethan had looked up from his work. He said, without even blinking, he could be dumber, and I'd still love him. The day they received their second marriage certificate, Ethan stood outside the city hall. He placed the document in her hand. He said, "We'll put this in the safe when we get home. Should I secretly tell you the password? In case you change your mind one day." Ethan pinched her nose. "Maybe I should be the one to set the password. You're the more likely one to have regrets." She wrapped her arms around his neck. "You need to have more confidence in yourself, Ethan." There were other couples coming and going. Ethan was too shy to kiss her in public, so he just held her hand. "Ethan, why do you like me? Compared to you, I'm like the ugly duckling. Take off your love goggles for a second. Tell me the real reason." She made a fist and held it up to his mouth like a microphone. "A reason? There isn't one. Is it because I've been around you for so many years? Psychologically, people whose lives intersect more are more likely to fall in love." Ethan intertwined his fingers with hers. Psychology also has another phenomenon, he continued. It's called the mere exposure effect. The more you see someone, the more likely you are to like them. So what you just said is also a reason. She felt a little disappointed. So you're saying if it wasn't me, you would have liked someone else. There is no if. It's already you. And I'm very glad it's you. She was about to say more, but Ethan stopped her. He turned to face her. You have always been my optimal solution. So don't doubt and don't be afraid. I won't fall for anyone else. She buried her face in his chest and began to sob quietly. We wasted so much time. I'm sorry, but we have many more years ahead of us. She nodded and hugged him tighter.